Good evening, all. Welcome to my first stream. I've decided over the last kind of short while that I thought I might try this. I've been thinking about writing about games and doing a bit of kind of, I guess, journalism, although that seems like a slightly extreme word to use. But I thought this might be a good way to show off some games that I enjoy, chat to some people I know, and just see what happens, really. I thought I'd start with this game. So this is, for those who don't know what this game is, this is Demon's Souls, which is a remake of an original 2009 game for the PS3, made by From Software. So it's the first of the Souls series. Obviously now more famous because of Dark Souls 1 through 3. They've made Bloodborne, they've made Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. But this one is kind of the one that started it all. And the remake that Bluepoint have made here is absolutely excellent. It's easily the best launch game that I've played from any console. I think what I'm going to go for this one. So for those who don't know, with these games, you typically you're always working towards like a specific kind of build. So some people prefer like a all melee based character with a massive sword, or you can go for magic, you can use a spear. There's all sorts. When I first play them, I tend to usually go for kind of a strength build. So I like broadswords, long swords, stuff like that. So let's just knock one up. I think we'll go for. Let's go for soldier. Just go through them all. The knight definitely has, in my opinion, the nicest starting armor. I really like that set. I think it's pretty cool. Me and a friend have recently been playing this game. I'm in a nice kind of overpowered magic build, which was a laugh. Magic is really, really good in in this game. It isn't in the rest of them necessarily, but it is in this one. So once you've chosen your class as well, they also give you a little gift to start with. This usually just gives you like a small boost. I tend to go for this ring because you can get, occasionally pick up a few extra items near the start, which is handy when you're kind of getting used to it. You can see him shouting. Okay. Let's go with. Let's do a preset. There is a lot of different options to create your character. You can spend quite a lot of time on it, and you can actually make some really, really good looking characters on this one. Traditionally, if you look back through the Souls games, a lot of them are a little bit mutant looking. But this one you can make some pretty cool characters. But I actually quite like this preset here. I think it's pretty decent. So we'll go with that one.
King Alant XII, by channeling the power of souls, brought unprecedented prosperity to his northern kingdom of Boletaria. That is, until the colorless deep fog swept across the land. Boletaria was cut off from the outside world, and those who dared penetrate the deep fog never returned. But Valifax of the Royal Twin Fangs broke free from the fog and told the world of Boletaria's plight. That the old King Alant had roused the Old One, the great beast below the Nexus, from its eternal slumber, and that a colorless fog had swept in, unleashing terrible demons. The demons hunt down men and claim their souls. Those who lose their souls lose also their minds. The mad attack the sane, and chaos reigns. Valifax also spoke of the enticing power of the demon souls. Each time a demon claims a human soul, the demon's own soul is invigorated by the life force, and the power of a mature demon soul is beyond human imagination. The legend spread quickly. Mighty warriors lured by the possibilities braved the fissure to breach the accursed land, but none have returned. Pure of the Twin Fangs, Yet the silent chief, Saint Urbane, Scurva the Wanderer, the sixth Saint Astraea with her knight Garl Vinland, and Sage Frake the Visionary. The colorless deep fog slowly creeps beyond Boletaria's borders. Humankind faces a slow and steady extinction. The deep fog will eventually swallow all lands near and far. But Boletaria has one final hope. A lone warrior who has braved the baneful fog. Has the land found its savior? Or have the demons found a new slave?
That's a little opening bit of the lore. So this one, all the games, all the Souls games are pretty unique in that they give you kind of a.
I shall guide you to the fissure. So that you may lull the old one back to slumber.
So all the games give you a bit of context, but it's not like it's not a normal narrative like it would be in a a Naughty Dog game or something like that. You're kind of left to make up your own mind about what is actually going on. This gets expanded out a lot more with future games in the series, particularly the obvious ones being Dark Souls. But this one still is pretty cool. I wouldn't say it's as good as the story about Link in the Flame in Dark Souls 1 to 3, but it is still a good story. So what you'll notice straight away, and what is a key component of these games, is that even enemies that appear pretty non-threatening can be pretty dangerous pretty quickly. Where these games catch you out is you'll often kind of be steamrolling through an area, no problem at all, and then suddenly something will jump out and gank you, and that's it. So you've always kind of got to be on your toes. Nope. Let's try again with this one. Kind of. Yeah. Always enjoy the first backstab. So I gotta say, Bluepoint did an amazing job with this remake. Graphically, it looks really, really good. If you can, obviously the original version of it is an old game now, but nonetheless, it really showcases pretty well what the PS5 is capable of. It's very, very cool. Particularly like the particle effects, around all like the little flames and the lights, and when you take a soul from the enemy, how it kind of goes into your body. It's very, very cool. I hope they continue that kind of stuff moving forward. So for those who don't know, even though you're holding a one-handed sword, you can change it to two-handed. So you've got a few more attack options. Does a bit more of a powerful hit, but then you lose a bit more stamina. So it's a trade-off between those two things most of the time. There should be a bigger guy coming up. Here we go. That's your jabber. Hi, James. There's a lot of atmosphere in this first level, Journey to the Nexus. I really like it. It would have been. It's a shame I never played these games back in the day. It would have been pretty interesting to see what it was like, the very first time. It must have been really, really different because even though they have some DNA to kind of old action role-playing games, they're really innovative and it's a very fresh feeling compared to a lot of other games you might have played that are similar to this. Okay, nothing behind that. Oh, what's he got? So when this game was first envisioned, the team that made it, they originally wanted to go back to making a kind of old school action role-playing game. I would guess, I'll have to look into it further, but I think from kind of the 16 or 8-bit era, and modernise that a bit. And it had a bit of a troubled direction for quite a long time. The director, Hidetaka Miyazaki, who's now a very, very famous game director because he's helmed all these games now, kind of moved it forward. More on that in a minute after I take on Big Chungus. That's interesting. I'd like to go back into some of their back catalogue. I've never really looked. I'm sure they made some weird fighting mech game or something at some point. Oh god. Yeah. I'm sure a huge percentage of the budget for the remake went into animating this guy's rear end. Sure, he loved it. Opportunity for progression. pretty happy with that. I'll take that. He's kind of an optional fight, so I'm kind of cheating a bit because I played the game before, but yeah, you're kind of not really supposed to beat him. He's going to kind of come out and surprise you when you first beat him, so it's always quite fun when you can do it, when you get used to it. There's Mr. Dragon God just chilling out up there. Nice and intimidating. Nice doggy. Nice little freebies there. And a thorough ass swamping has been delivered. Off to the Nexus we go.
Soul of the lost withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be mended. Soul of the lost withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be mended.
Do we care about seeing the story stuff, or do we want to skip it?
So the world might be mended.
Okay.
This is the Nexus. It holds together the northern land of Boletaria. Thou canst not quit the Nexus, but the 5 Archstones will guide thee to the outer lands.
So this is the hub world called the Nexus. So it's kind of similar to, obviously similar to the Firelink Shrine in later Souls games. So here you've got a few NPCs that you can chat to, a few merchants you can buy stuff from. So you've got this chap over here who helps you upgrade your weapons and stuff. And this storage guy literally just exists to put stuff in a box, so he's useful. And then we've got a person that teaches you miracles around here, so like healing spells and stuff like that, which I hardly ever use.
Well, you slipped through the fissure too, did you? You came for demon souls? Or to save this land and be remembered as a hero?
Oh, hi, Mare.
Hunting for demons? Try one of the Archstones. Now go. That is why you came, is it not? To this accursed Boletaria?
So you can only go through one for now, but what's quite nice about this game versus later in the series, and actually I really like this bit about it, instead of being in newer games you do have some freedom for where you can go, but it is more linear, where with this one, once you go past this first Archstone, which we'll do in a sec, you can pick really to go through any of them in whatever order you want. Obviously you're kind of limited by difficulty in some respects. You will have to make some adjustments, but people can, in theory, do them in any order they want, which is quite cool. Alright, so you can see here, this is like the ghost of another player. So what's quite cool about the online component of these games is you can touch these, you can read other people's messages. So I think the idea behind these originally was to give tips and stuff like that, but in the main, it's basically just trolls going, "Oh yeah, don't jump off, don't jump off here," stuff like that. But you can also, at certain points in the game, you can summon other players to come and help you, which is really one of the most innovative aspects of these games. So what's quite cool about that is the director Miyazaki. He got the idea for the tips and the bloodstains and stuff. He was driving in heavy snow one night, and him and a load of other drivers were stuck, and he found that drivers at the front of the queue, they were getting out of their cars and coming back and warning other people, there was this hazard, or there's some ice, or there was that, and that kind of sparked him to think of this system where other players could help other players could help each other with difficult parts of the game. Obviously, in practice, it hasn't quite paid off because most people tend to troll, but it's still a good idea, and you do get the odd one that is really helpful. Another aspect to this is you get these things called bloodstains, which show how another player died. I'm surprised he did die on this part, but whatever. He says. I swear to God, I do that push forward thing every time I fight someone. Maybe once you get to the top of this, we'll bust Fiona out and find Shrek, as previously mentioned. I don't like these guys. They're a little menacing. So whereas in this game, how the levels seem to be designed is that they all will eventually kind of loop back round on one another, so you'll end up with a shortcut. In later games, what they started to do was add in bonfires, so you'd have little checkpoints, but there's less of that in this one. You've got your one archstone at the start of the beginning of like a section, and you kind of just have to work your way round through that. So it's a lot more like a more old school, some of the old like NES and SNES games where you go through these brutal levels, Ninja Gaiden and stuff like that. So it can seem really intimidating at first, but you can, anyone can learn it. I think these games do have a rep for extreme difficulty, but you get used to it. They're not that bad, really. Oh boy. I probably won't get the old King's Sword just because I kind of want to do it normally, but the thing that is interesting is I didn't know, so different weapons in the game have different effects and stuff like that. But the starting broadsword in this one actually has bleed damage, which, as far as I know, it doesn't in Dark Souls or any of the later ones, so it's quite a fun weapon to use. Here's where I get set on fire by several gents on this stair. Oh. See, I don't know if it will actually come. I don't think it will come to PC because there's still speculation about whether Bloodborne will. I'm hoping that they do, but obviously the original was just locked forever. It never ended up coming. It'd be great if it did, though. Yeah, I noticed that. I wonder if that was a. I wonder if that is probably a definite indicator that it's confirmed. Seems like a pretty odd mistake to make if it isn't. Bluepoint, the devs that did the remaster, it'd be great to see all of their games come to other platforms. I mean, the Shadow of the Colossus remaster is really, really good. There's a rumour that they're working on a Metal Gear Solid 1 remaster as well, which would be very, very good. They seem to put in a lot of care with what they do. It's really impressive. This guy's doing a lot of grunting. Down you go. Nice little vista. And now we come to a classic Souls series pitfall, the old boulder down the stairs. Let's get around that. So the PS5 set up really well for this Twitch thing. As a complete noob to doing this, I'm pretty impressed at how easy it is. So all the chat and all the questions that you, or stuff that you guys are saying, all coming up directly on the screen, which is really good. Makes it a lot easier. Which one did you play first, Stokey? Oh, okay, yeah. Two's actually really good. I think two's really underrated. I'd recommend it because the other good thing about two is that it goes off in a completely different direction about like the lore and stuff. So if you're nerdy or and into it, there is a lot to kind of unpack, which I quite like. It's not really about linking the fire like Dark Souls 1 and 3 are. I started with Dark Souls 3 after watching my friend play it, who's in the chat, who is very, very good at Souls games, and he made it look easy. So I took it on and proceeded to get my ass handed to me repeatedly. But you get it just they seem, that one in particular seems very, very daunting at first. You do kind of pick it up and start to you really start to get where the gameplay hook is, because you'll get past a difficult part and you'll kind of just get that buzz. You'll want to kind of carry on and you'll kind of spur yourself on to continue. Okay, this doesn't look good. This is the only thing about this one which you can tell it's the first one in the series, because the lore is okay, but it's nowhere near as good as later versions, later entries rather. But it's still got that nice kind of open it up to interpretation kind of feel to it, which is pretty cool. Okay, this is handy. Alright, so while we're here, I might as well just go through it. So this is our equipment screen, for those who don't know. You'll see on the right all the stats. So when you level up, you can pick to increase one stat for each level up. So what most people will do is they'll go for something like, I'll probably do it with this guy, go for a strength build, so they'll get their strength to say 40. They'll take their endurance up, which gives you more stamina and means you can take, you've got more defense and you can take more swings with your sword. And then you might increase your vitality a bit as well, so you get a bit more HP. There's a lot of flexibility in the system. There were some kind of interesting ways to break it, but they've since been patched now. There was some crazy thing where you could get like 9 billion luck and just kill everything in one hit. So there's loads of that on YouTube that you can find. But yeah, it's a flexible system. It feels like an old school like tabletop RPG or something. It's pretty cool. Then obviously you've got your weapon slots. There's loads of different weapons you can get. Short swords, spears, axes, hammers, all sorts of stuff. And you've got your armor, but you also have an equip load. So it's not like you can just slap on some heavy armor and roll with it. You have to think about it, because, like in my case now, if I show you, I roll really slowly. Whereas if I take this off, you start to get a fast. Oh, hang on, let me go a bit more. Put him in his pants. You start to get a slightly faster roll, which means you can kind of evade enemies easier. You know, obvious stuff. Let's put that on. So at the minute, that ring, we called the Cling Ring. Where to start for a newbie? I would say if you're playing it for the first time, this class, the soldier's really good, or the knight is easy because you have a bit higher. I think the knight's got a bit higher defense. The armor set is good, and I would probably just go 40 strength, 40 endurance, and I don't know. You can take vitality up to about 20. You can also do a dexterity build. So it sounds more complicated than it is. All that really happens is for strength weapons, they're generally kind of heavier, hammers, axes and stuff. Dexterity weapons are typically stuff like katanas and other things like that. So it's really just a preference. Most people say, and I agree with this, find a weapon that you like using or think looks cool. Have a quick Google just to check, what stats best to buff for it, and just go with it. Again, these games do a really good job of making it look way more difficult to figure that out than it actually is. It's actually not too bad. So I was just going to tell you what that ring did that I picked up. At the minute, the character's in soul form. So the Cling Ring means you can have a bit more HP when you're in this form. When you beat a boss or you consume an item, you'll go back into human form. So if you look on the top left, my HP is kind of limited. You can take that all the way back up once you go back into human form. But there are some drawbacks to that as well, which we'll get to a little later on if I don't get killed shortly. Got any? Okay. There's a big chungus round here that I might see if I can fight. He's a little scary, but I'll give him a go. Why not? Okay. I'm not sure whether to do this or not. Do I go for it or not? What should we do? Alright, well, we're going to go for it. Oh god. Don't want this guy to kill me. See, it's got some bleed damage now from my sword, which is quite useful, especially early game. It's a 2009 AI working really well there. Come on. Stop healing, damn it. Oh god, that was so badly timed. Gonna run back out of here. Come on, we can do it. I really want to get this guy. I can't seem to get backstabs on it very easily. It's like the anti-backstab. Yeah, it's just finicky. I'm trying to. But anyway, we got him. I'm trying to practice it to get it a little bit better. Anyway, sorry, that was a little bit laborious, guys. But we got him. Right, let's just have a look and see, make sure we're prepped for this next bit. What's really nice about this game versus the others in the series, I just think the level design of this one really works well. I think it's because there is one area in the game that I really don't like, but I think what's good about it is because the game's a bit smaller. Thanks. Because it's a bit smaller, they don't outstay their welcome so much. So if you get through an area that you're really hating, by the end of it, you haven't got to wait too long before you get to the end of it, I should say. Makes it a bit more bearable. I would like to do some Super Smash Bros. At some point, although I don't think the general public are ready for the horrendous language I'll produce if I start to lose on it. I'm trying to keep it PC as long as I can. If I start losing on Smash, it'll be an absolute F and Jeff fest. Here's this rather handsome-looking fella.
Good day to you.
Good day.
Care to look over my wares? Mostly stolen, but
I wouldn't be looking over his
tell
wares.
me?
What are you doing? Right, I don't think we need any of that.
Oh, hey.
We're not far away from boss number 1 now. Oh, I got a couple in pretty quick succession then. Let's go get these lads down here. Oh my god, that was close. The only thing I really dislike from a control perspective, because these games are, you know, the controls are really, you know, are tight. You know, it's easy to get used to. But the one thing I can't bear is having to press circle to sprint. It does make it a bit difficult, but you get used to it. Right, let's see if I can. I've not actually been down here before. Let's see if I can take this guy. He shouldn't be too bad. That was like the fattest roll ever there. Clearly all those backstabs I needed against the bigger guy, I'm getting against all these guys now. What on earth is down here? I've never been down here. Okay, well this is new. I've literally never seen this bit at all before, ever. I've played it sort of 3 or 4 times Something that's interesting when you run into a big group of enemies like that, you know, often it won't be that you'll get a massive group of really big, strong enemies. You'll get a lot of the little ones like that. And it can be tempting to be overly defensive. Really, what's sometimes best is just kind of going in, guns blazing a little bit. It's almost like the game, you know, they plan for you to be really defensive. Happens a lot when you're going up against, you know, like there's like wolves that you fight and stuff like that, and they'll all rush you at once. But if you're generally quick enough, you can sort them all out before they get a chance. What is that? Okay, that was worth finding. So the shards you find, these things, are to help you upgrade your weapons, so you need these to go down the upgrade paths. So the way it works in this game is you'll get say I've got a broadsword now. When you upgrade it, it will be broadsword +1, and then you can just take that on a normal path all the way to +10. But what is quite cool is there's different kind of paths you can take depending on how you want your character to be. So for example, if you're playing a strength character, you can get a different type of stone which will let you go down like a crushing path, and then your weapon scales really well with strength, which means you'll do more damage and it's better suited to your build. It's a it's a clever system. Instead of just flat upgrades. It doesn't escape some of the arbitrary kind of Japanese role-playing game grinding for stuff near the end thing that you usually have to do, but you don't need to be, you know, absolutely maxed out on upgrades to beat it anyway. For some reason, these games always remind me, especially these sections of the castle and stuff. It's probably just because there's such a large castle section in it, but they always remind me a bit of Resident Evil 4. It is pretty full on. Absolutely, it is full on. Who's this guy then?
My thanks for your brave rescue. I am Ostrava of Boletaria. Accept this as a token of my gratitude.
Okay, I'm gonna have to Google what that does because I've got no idea. You get used to how full on it is. It probably looks worse than it is, but once you get used to it, there's definitely a quieter moment, you know, there where you can kind of take it in a bit more. Dark Souls 3 is probably the most intense, I would say, or Bloodborne, which is a kind of offshoot of the Souls series. Bloodborne's really intense. You're constantly on the offensive. You know, you don't really... A defensive playstyle isn't really something you can do in it, whereas with these games you absolutely can if you want to. If you want to hide behind a shield and kind of poke away at stuff, you can, but in that game, it's not happening. So I've been thinking I might, because I know some people, a few friends I had were saying they were interested in seeing it, I've been tempted to stream Ghost of Tsushima from the start again, because I quite enjoyed that game but never beat it. So I'm tempted to do a bit of that as well, if people are interested. Trying to try and see if I can get into some more review discussion and stuff like that. Oh my god, did he live through that? Jesus. Okay. Fair enough. In terms of it being full on as well, just to touch on the difficulty side of it again, really, the games aren't necessarily really difficult. It's more that you just have to kind of learn the trick to it, is probably the best way of putting it. You'll learn a bit more about how they work and some of the kind of the foibles of how it operates. And initially what seems like, oh my god, it's so hard, I'm never going to be able to beat that, it's impossible, it kind of just erodes away. Like, you just get used to how it works and it just won't feel that way anymore. I will do some Naughty Dog games, if that's what people want. I'd quite like to... I could easily plough through Last of Us 1, do a Survivor mode playthrough of that. That would actually be quite fun, because I can... if I do say so myself, I can get through that game on that difficulty pretty easy these days. Although I've not played it for a while. Right, so... I can't get a backstab to save my life today. Oh, here comes Mr. Dragon. To make some guard kebabs. Here he comes. I want him to come back over here because I'll show you this because it's quite neat. So down here, it's quite cool to look at them anyway because they're pretty impressive. There's two dragons roosting here, and the blue one is guarding some stuff. So if you can get under his tail, which he currently does a bit of whip crack with his whoopee tail, but we have to try and get underneath it. Need to bait this one to fly over there, where we were, and then hopefully I can run back and grab some of the stuff. But we will see. Let's try it. What could go wrong? Need to strip down to my pants so I can go super fast. This could go really wrong. Oh. Oh god, I don't think I'm gonna make it. You're gonna blow it. That's what I want. Oh, run away. Oh, did it. Oh, Jesus Christ. I hate doing that. I might come back for the rest of it later, but I don't fancy testing that another time. So what that gives you, especially if you're a new player and you can do it as handy, is you get a Ring of Great Strength, which increases your equipment load. So after we put a few points into endurance, you'll have a much faster roll, much quicker, because it ups your equip burden, so you haven't got to worry about wearing heavier armor, which is pretty handy, but we don't need it just yet, so I'll put it on in a bit. Let's get to this first boss fight, and then we can see a bit more. Do I sound alright, or am I waffling on? Okay, cool. Okay, here we go. Thanks, Jade. Thanks for hopping on and having a look. I do appreciate everybody. I was kind of nervous about it before I did it. It was really weird. Like, played gigs in front of like 800 or 900 people, but I was really worried about doing this. That's a bit of a gank. Oh yeah, through the wall. Yeah, that's fair. Okay. That was a lot like that. I hate these guys. Here's wall souls too, right? There we go. Huh. I think that guy might have just jumped me and fell all the way down there, so that worked out nicely for me. So here are the giant turd monsters, which I can't get by. I need to hit him in the back, but I can't get past him. Get back. Get back, you beast. There we go. I kind of feel like they ran out of ideas when they got to that monster design. Pile of sewage, go. It's literally a pile of muck. Right, so once we open this, we'll be back pretty much where we started. Here we are. The first gate. Oh, there's just one thing I do want to get that I missed. See those guys up there? See, this is the kind of thing where these games are quite cool, which you might not know. So, you see that? I think there's a guy hanging up there. You can go up there and cut the chain, and then he drops something. I think. I'm sure that is the case. Let's just quickly do the jog back up here. Here we go. Cut that. Hear his corpse hit the floor, which is a bit morbid. There we go. Here we go, first boss fight. The trick to this one is just to throw fire bombs at him, and it gets rid of all the big kind of turd monsters. Just get rid of as many of them as you can. Start hammering away at him. There we go, all done. And now, because we beat him, back in human form. So that's it. That boss there is a classic example of how this series kind of treats new players, because you'd be picking up those fire bombs off of those guys, you know, those guys that I was just fighting there, and you'd probably use one or two, and you wouldn't think anything of it. But they make that boss fight pretty trivial. But if you didn't know that, you'd be thinking, God, how am I supposed to hit through this impenetrable wall of turds with shields? So it's kind of about what you know in the end. You get used to that over time. So now we've done that, let's go back to the Nexus.
Welcome back. The monumental awaits the above. The monumental will explain the Nexus to thee.
So now we've got to take a quick trip to the top of the Nexus to chat with the Monumental, who's going to give us the mission to save the world. It's a pretty cool area. It gives you a nice sense of scale. It feels massive. I'm hoping to eventually, once I've done a bit of this, and hopefully, if you're all kind to me and tell, you know, friends and people you know to check me out a little bit, I'd like to get into streaming some older games as well. I'd like to go back and do some classics. You know, I put in my little bio thing, and most of you know, because most of you are friends with me, that the reason I'm into games is really because of my oldest brother and him getting me into kind of old school RPGs. You know, I used to sit and some of my fondest memories are sitting there watching him play Final Fantasy VII and these, you know, Chrono Trigger and these old games. So it'd be fun to go back and do those, especially if he's watching. I'd love that. That'd be cool.
We have long awaited you, Slayer of Demons. I am one of the Monumentals. We preserve the fabric of reality. There is a tale I wish to tell you. Once, we too,
I see ya.
a demon's faced. In the distant past, under benevolent rule, the world was united owing to the soul arts. Until a lust for power caused the awakening of the Old One. Across the land seeped a colorless, deep fog, and the world faced extinction at the hands of the demons. Thanks be, we were able to lull the Old One back to its slumber, yet only after the loss of innumerable souls, and most of the world, lost, erased by the fog. In order to mend the fabric of what lands still remained, we entrusted 6 leaders with 6 precious archstones. One to the king of a small yet industrious land. One to the king of the burrowers underground. One to the wise queen of the great ivory tower. One to the chieftain of lost and ill-fortuned souls. One to the shaman of the tempest-worshipping shadowmen. And the last to the great giants of the northern lands. The archstones were placed in the fringelands that survived. We contained the Old One here below the Nexus, and prohibited the soul arts. Finally, we became monumentals, half-living sentinels of the fabric of reality. Alas, the other monumentals have perished, and only I remain.
I didn't know that. That's cool. Actually, I had no idea. I knew about the one of them, but I didn't know about one.
Lull the Old One back to its slumber, and
Okay.
seal it away for all eternity. If not, the deep fog will absorb all that we know. Have you the
Pardon me.
strength to bear this burden? Yes, we are fortunate indeed to have you. Now, go forth and destroy every last demon.
It's pretty incredible to think that if you went back,
The Old One,
you know,
without
10,
demons
15
to
years, we'd
feed
never
its
dream of
souls,
having characters that look like
will
that in games.
usurp
Like,
the
it's incredible to look at the
and
detail on his
lure you
armor
to
and
its
everything.
bosom.
It's absolutely nuts. Alright. So, just as my brother's here, this will probably make some of you other guys laugh as well. So I first got into games from playing a little bit of like playing Sonic the Hedgehog on my brother's and my sister's Master System, which is like ancient, you know, pre-Mega Drive system. And then because my brother was getting into game development, and he was obviously really interested in games as well, I used to sit and watch him play games all the time. And I remember when I first sat and watched Final Fantasy VII, I was really, you know, infatuated with it. I'd never seen anything like it. And when I was a little kid, I must have been only about probably Stella's age, so 6 when that came out, and I had no concept of what magic was in terms of fantasy and stuff. So I'd been to like kids' parties as in magic with like rabbits out of hats and stuff. And I can remember going to school the next day and being like, "Oh my god, my brother's playing this game and there's magic in it, and it's like fire and they can use lightning and all this stuff." And everyone was like, it was kind of bizarre because there's so much of that now and so many things. But at the time, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe this, you know. Just fun. I think I'll always like RPG games and stuff like this for that reason. You know, it always kind of sets me off. Back to this. So now we've beat this first boss, we can talk to this woman here, and she gives you the ability to level up, which is what we're going to do now.
Soul, for whom death is no fear. Prithee, lull the old one back to its ancient slumber.
She does say that nearly every time we go talk to her as well, so I will be skipping her dialogue every time, because she does my edit.
Seekest thou the power of souls? Of course. After all, thou requirest strength. Go ahead. Touch the demon. Let these vagabond souls become thine own.
Alright, let's do it.
All of the mind.
So we're going to go for endurance and strength, I think, and I might go see if I can get this claymore that I was using on the last build, but I might not bother, I'm not sure.
Let strength be granted so the world might be mended. So the world might be mended.
Let's go with that for now, that's good.
Art thou finished?
So also, in addition to ordinary souls you get when fighting enemies, you also get soul drops. These ones just give you like a generic amount of souls, so this is the smallest one I think, and it goes all the way up to like renowned hero or something like that, and they'll get bigger amounts. And then you get boss souls as well, which gives you special items, so you can use them to get special weapons, you can get special magic spells and stuff like that, but also they'll all yield a higher amount of souls. So there's an interesting bit of trade-off when building your character between, are you going to use that stuff, or will you just get rid of it in favour of stats? I'm generally a bit of a kind of stats first player. I just like, you know, getting organically stronger. Very good. Yes, you do. That's good. Right, so this one doesn't really give us anything great, so we'll just get rid of it. Let's just get rid of it. Yeah, it'd be nice if they dropped an R soul in there for a joke, wouldn't it? Right, let me just check this one because I can't remember what it gives me. Okay, cool. We don't need that either. So we'll get a couple more levels.
Then touch the demon inside me.
Let's
I
just
shall await thy
use these as well. Cool.
Then touch the demon, soul of the mind, which life's ether. Soul of the lost withdrawn.
Yeah, she does go on a bit in case you haven't noticed.
Art thou finished?
So we can
May
go
thy strength
for.
help the world be mended.
We could go straight into the second archstone, which is kind of like in a mine and things like that, or we could go. Now the fourth one might be a little bit tricky. Yeah. Let's go. I'll tell you what. Let's mix it up. Let's try and do the prison with the weird Cthulhu monsters. Sorry, I lost my chat there for a minute. Right. Oh, so I've not been able to get through the bars. Oh well, never mind. Oh god. Okay, yeah, here's a Cthulhu monster. We don't like these. I think I might be pushing my luck a bit trying this area first, but we'll see what we can do. Oh, wrong way. This is a bit of a tricky area when you first do it. It seems really kind of labyrinthian, but yeah, these things are the things that make it difficult. The Cthulhu-like things, a bit of a nightmare. See if he'll come a bit closer. Got him. Oh my god, he went over the side. I'll take it. Oh god, there's another one. Just need to back off a little bit. Not today, Cthulhu. Oh. Right then. So what's quite cool, Eggebeg mentioned it earlier on the chat, is that some of the heroes and people that are mentioned at the start of the game you can encounter in various ways. So some of the old legends are like the souls of the boss you fight and stuff like that. But some of the actual characters that are mentioned at the start, you can meet them, interact with them, and eventually they end up going back to the Nexus, and sometimes they'll give you stuff, or they'll be like a new merchant. So it's a unique way of unlocking more stuff, basically. A guy you can rescue here, he's like a mage, so if you're going for a magic build, he gives you some of the best magic spells in the game. Definitely, if you're thinking about it, it's definitely worth trying a magic build in this one. It's really, really fun. Way more powerful than some of the other games. Pity the wizard's gloves isn't called the wizard's sleeve, but we'll overlook that. They always scare the shit out of me when I first run into them. Oh, don't jinx it. Can't believe I've not died yet. It's gonna happen. I think I want to go through there. You can hear, what's kind of creepy is you can hear like the bell of the, oh there's one, hear the bell of the Cthulhu monsters when they're strutting around, so you're always a bit on edge that they're going to just come out and grab you, which they do. Just don't want to get caught unaware by them. I'll see you. Yeah, as soon as they grab you, catch you, it's kind of endgame. You got to be pretty quick. It's pretty interesting in the Souls games how they always seem to have this hint of like Lovecraftian horror about them. It's not always prevalent in all of them, But there's always this little shade of it, and in Bloodborne, which is the later entry, that's pretty much all Lovecraftian inspired. It's probably the best in terms of outright art design. It's really, really cool. Way more kind of gothic and horror, outright horror than any of the others are. Bye-bye. Oh no! No! That was a lucky escape. Only the freshest spice. So, Lauback, if you're still there, what do you think? Be something you'd play, or do you think you'd still leave it? I managed to get lucky with avoiding that like every time. Right, I think there's one more down there. Or is he gone? Yeah, that was you. Sorry, yeah. I just wondered if you'd consider playing this when you get a PS5 or not now. It's pretty well designed in terms of lighting, because I know in some games that I played like this, sometimes it will be too dark that you can't see a bloody thing. But they give you just enough to make it creepy, but also that you're not getting frustrated that you can't see in front of you. Oh, that's fair. Oh, so here's the chap we can free, but we need a special key for this guy, so we'll come back for him. If I'm not dead by then. I'll do a little bit more of this area and then I'll move on to a different one. Just to kind of show off a bit more diversity in the graphics. Because this area is a cool area, but it's quite doom and gloom. I just want to do the worst of it and get it out of the way, because it's quite tricky. Hide away here a minute. Put this on. I'm hoping. Yeah, got a faster roll now. That's good. How close is this guy going to come? You see the Cthulhu monster walking back. Let's see if I can get him in the back. You get emotes as well. Well done. Oh no. Oh no! Oh, I made him bleed. That was close. So basically what I'm trying to avoid, it may seem a bit stupid because I'm still chopping through them pretty easily, but they've got a really powerful spell that will probably one-tap me at this stage, I'd have thought. And also they can kind of grab you and trap you and then they just eat you, basically. We'll see if we can bust him out. I can't remember how to, though. Let's head back a minute. I think I've got most of this. Oh yeah, I'm missing a key. Sorry about this. Little backtrack. There we go, that's what we need. So along here is where you go. Oh, let's get rid of that. You get a really cool set, which is actually on one of the starting classes, but it's kind of the signature armor set of the game. Is from like the guy on the cover, so I tend to use that one. I like that one. Pretty eerie, just hearing the guy scream for help as you're wandering around this place. It's not the happiest. Whoa. Yeah, you definitely. If you like this guy that's just took me out there definitely is a bit of that. I'm gonna cheese this guy, I'm afraid, because he's very, very strong otherwise. Come on, hurry up. This is the only thing with these games sometimes that it's not too bad, there's not loads of it, but you do have a few situations like this where you kind of just up against where they are. Yeah. The pacing overall is really good in these games, but there is, sadly, there is usually an area where you'll come up against a bit of a roadblock, and it can get quite frustrating. Like there's one that I usually do close to the end on this, which is kind of a swampy type area, and it does. I tend to save it till before the end, where I'm as strong as I can be character-wise, because it can feel like such a ball ache to get through. But otherwise, yeah, I think it flows pretty nicely. Flows quite well. So in the end, where we'll end up is behind that thing, this thing that's going to shoot arrows at us, so you can turn it off. There are some clever people out there who can do fancy pants rolls to get through it without getting hit, but I'm not one of those people, so we won't be doing that. I've not got the skills. Just hop down here a minute. Ooh, I hate doing this bit. always think it's awful being like a naive young kid playing these games, because you'll get one of those blood stains. People will be expecting to find a good item or something. They'll be like, yeah, roll off here, and then obviously you're going to roll to your death. But yeah, I can't imagine it's fun as a completely first-time player expecting the best of everyone. I'll do some soon. Maybe I'll make that my next one. Thanks for coming on, Danny. Right, let's bop on up here. Don't want to jinx it, but I'm amazed I haven't died yet. Oh dear. Oh no! Oh, he got me. Well, it was going to happen sometime. Yeah, so now because I've died, you go back into soul mode, so you lose. Yeah, so you lose a bit of your health, and you kind of have to fight your way back through the enemies to get your souls back. Obviously, if we get back there, I'll get my souls back. Great. If you die, then you lose them permanently. So it's a nice little kind of gameplay loop. Luckily, we haven't got to do as much to get back there, but I've still got to go through a few of these gits. That one's just really awkwardly placed in that last tunnel I died at. It's a pain to get past. Hopefully it won't take me long to get back. Go back the other way, go on. Scoot. Hopefully we'll be able to get back. Luckily, once you do... This is the other good way about how the levels are designed, is that because they give you kind of... You gradually progressing in terms of the shortcuts you unlock. It doesn't... Some areas can feel like a big backtrack, but in the main, they're not too bad. I think I went... Which one did I go down? Yeah, okay, this one. Hopefully I'll be able to get him back. I can see him down there loitering around. Oh, this one is a nightmare to get past. Let's see if maybe go take the other side as well. There's one both sides is the only tricky thing. Oh. Oh, not again. No. Oh, I'm dead. Thank you, Demon Souls. Right, well, I think this time I'm going to grab them, I'm going to run back, probably go back to the Nexus, level up a bit, and go on a different world for a little while. Because I'm probably taking this one on a little bit soon. So I'll see if I can get them back. And I'll move on somewhere else. It's interesting, these games, or this game I should say, I think the later games have obviously sold much better. But hang on, let me just try not to get killed by this guy. God, this one's going to keep coming in here and throwing me off. Oh, that was lucky. Yeah, so where this game is interesting is when it was first released, it didn't actually sell enormously well in Japan, and it did get some good reviews, but it kind of, I guess because it was so different at the time, it didn't take to it. But I always think it's quite weird that it didn't sell as well in Japan, but then did much better in Western markets, because in most cases, or maybe it's a stereotype, but it usually seems to be the case, the Japanese and kind of the Asian market seem to like harder games. Challenge seems to be their thing. So I find it a bit weird that that wasn't, something that they wanted. Right, let's scoot on out of here. Because I've unlocked most of that level, so it should be a little easier when I come back. So you can get some items which are handy later on that they give you a bit of a cheat. They let you go straight back to the Nexus with all your souls. But if you just want to go back, you have to use something which strips away everything you've earned to go back. So in most cases, you have to run back to the Archstone if you do want to go back. But it's not too bad. It's usually fairly manageable. Let's avoid that one. I nearly ran head first into that one. I kept getting lost when I first did this level for that reason. When I was trying to leave, I was like, ugh, just constantly getting stuck, constantly getting mixed up, turned around. But I'm fairly used to it now. Right then. Right, let's go back. Read. Where's she run off to this time? Oh, there she is.
Thou seekest, then touch the demons. Soul of the mind, key to life's ether. Soul of the lost, art thou finished?
I've got a few of these to use, cool.
Thou seek, then touch.
Oh, quite a lot to use. Okay, nice.
Soul of the mind, key to life's ether. Soul of, art thou finished?
Right, so for the last short while before we hop off it, let's do a bit of the second world, because this one is pretty good. Probably call it a day about 9, I think. Maybe do a bit more tomorrow. This is a real nice showcase with this. That's really smart, this level. Let's get this little lizard. Let's see what he gets. Always feel a bit mean beating them up, but they give you stuff. Seems a bit harsh. Oh yeah, we have to go this way. So in this area of the game, you kind of start getting introduced to the fact that different enemies respond to different damage types. It's not really something that happened as much in later entries to the series, I think, because it can at times feel a little bit unnecessarily awkward, but it's not too bad. There's not too much of it. These kind of minor hard-skinned guys are all weak to kind of stab damage, so if you don't come here prepped, it can feel like a right pain. But fortunately, I'm doing okay against them already, so it's fine. Ow. Stop clubbing me, damn it. These guys can quickly overwhelm you. See, it is quite cool that they have different weaknesses to stuff, but it does make this area a teeny bit of a chore that you have to sort of just stab everything. That said, I guess it rewards slightly different play styles, because if you were to come in here with, the spear or something, it's going to feel massively different. That could have gone wrong. That wasn't too bad. Got this guy in here to worry about now, who's a slight pain, as you can see. Oh god. Stop Hadoukening me. Ooh, that's close. God, that was an ordeal. Alright. So the way the kind of shards work is pretty obvious, but you have like your shards at first, then it will go up to chunks, and you'll get large shards and stuff like that. So as you go on and get bigger, more powerful weapons, you need slightly different materials to progress. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? What's quite cool is if you hit this at the right point, you can deflect them and do something called a riposte, where you'll punch their sword away and just give them, you know, a hit through the chest, which is really nice. But it's hard to time. I'll try and get one. I'll see if I can get one. There we go. I didn't get the follow-up. It gives you this really nice, like, over-the-top, like, sound when you hit it. It's really satisfying. Right. This isn't going too badly. I feel like Peter Griffin when he's like, everything is cool right now. Trying to avoid some of these guys. What you also notice with the enemies, which is, it's not really something it's definitely there, but they don't expand on it until later games in the series, is the enemies have like a poise stat. It can be a bit hard to predict, so sometimes it will be like, oh my god, you know, I'm chopping through this guy and he's not going down, but it's just that they have like a bit of an inbuilt stat, which means they'll take a bit more grief than others. It can feel a bit odd at times, because you're there thinking, oh my god, I'm chopping away at this chap, nothing's happening, but yeah, that's all it is. Oh yeah, I forgot I'm ready to go this way. Sometimes the ghosts make me jump. Expect it to be an enemy, it's just little ghosts floating around. Here we go. Try and get past that guy hurling fire at me. These little lizards are quite cool, quite a cool design. Just got to be careful they don't set you on fire. Whole mess of them here. Oh god. Come on. Ah, shit. That's not what I wanted. Let's see if I can sprint back up there. Oh dear. guy again. Okay, never mind. I'm sure I can do it. Let's get him in here so I can... Leave me alone. Run away before I balls this up. Don't want to aggro him either, but I guess I'm going to. Quick, they're coming. Ah, come on. Oh, it's a tricky section sometimes, but we're going to get back. Make sure I get mobbed by these guys before I go back up the stairs. The only thing that's a slight shame, like coming back to this game, playing a lot of the others, is they do seem to like to recycle environments a lot. So obviously there's always going to be an element of, there's going to be like the fire area and the swamp area or like the snow or whatever. But it would be nice if they could be a bit more original with how they design spaces, because this is cool like in this game. But I imagine when you got to kind of Dark Souls 2 and you'd seen it like for the third time, it would have been getting a little old. The third Dark Souls is definitely pretty good, and it feels quite fresh. Although, then it gets a little. That one has its own problems, because then it starts to some of the levels all start to feel the same a little bit. You're not in the. It's yeah. To be fair, the last two levels I played, there is a lot of darkness, but there are some areas where it brightens up a bit. Although, you know, with it being a kind of a dark fantasy thing, the mood is a bit gloomy, I guess. That's what they're going for. Right, let's get these and bugger off. Not bother with them, because we're close to the little shortcut. I really like the fact that so much of the world and what's in it is kind of left. You get information about it, but it's kind of left up to your interpretation. I wouldn't want that in every game, but I think it does. I did not mean to do that. I think it does work quite well in these ones. You kind of left pondering about it a bit. Love the lighting. Look at that. The lighting there looks really, really good. Oh god. so annoying. There'll always be an enemy that's like left on 1 HP. Always the same. Oh shit. Let's just repair that very quickly. I wonder if I can kill him without that actually, because I can probably... Oh, it's not too bad. I can probably live with it just for now. Yep. Yeah, they're clearly not intelligent creatures. Come on. Right, let's just repair that. Might even pay to do it instead, so I don't waste one of those stones, so quite handy. This is nice. How's the stream been in terms of like the quality? It's not been choppy or anything like that? Has it been okay? Get this thing. Cool, that's good. Right, let's speak to this chap.
I haven't seen you around these parts. What does it matter? You need a blacksmith? Show me your steel.
Right, so now we can start upgrading. That's decent, I got all the way to +3 straight away.
All done.
All done. Alright, I'll tell you what I'm going to do while we're here, now that we've opened that shortcut, I'm just going to... Oh, that's good to know. I was worried I might be a bit loud or something like that, so that's good, I'm pleased with that. Let's just go back to the Nexus quickly. Don't think I can get a level yet. If I've got anything to sell, I might be able to get one. Ah, yeah, just about. Cool.
I shall await thy return.
Right, so let's actually get that other armor set because that's quite cool.
Thomas, when the Scots, my wife and daughter, fell victim to the demons. But I would be worthless in battle. At the very least, I hope to lend my assistance to you brave slayers of demons. I would be happy to lighten your load and look after any excess baggage.
This guy just likes to say hello again every time you go up to him, usually. I drop some of this stuff off. Never really use crossbows and stuff. Probably should, but I do not. Let's get rid of that. Let's get that. Cool, right, let's just put these on. This is a pretty cool looking set. Looks like a proper knight now.
Wait! Where are you off to?
Might still be a bit heavy for now. That's annoying. Might be able to mix it up though.
Again. I'm keeping a close watch.
Let's just see how we can make it right, sorry for the delay. Ah, there we go. I can have most of it then and still have a lightish roll. That'll do us for now.
Hello again. I'm keeping a close watch.
Hello again. Cool. This is another thing with this game that I do have mixed feelings on. In later games, you have a storage where your stuff goes to, which is fine. But in this one, you do have to kind of continuously worry about being over encumbered. And I get that in other games, you know, Skyrim and, you know, games like that. But I find it doesn't really have a place in this game. Like, it doesn't.
You have a heart of
All it does is serve to annoy. It doesn't really serve the gameplay in any meaningful way other than, oh shit, I've got to trek back and get stuff out of the box again. It would just be easier if that wasn't a thing, but you know, that's just my take. But I do find it a bit annoying. Oh, I think I can do one more.
Soul of the mind, key to life's ether. So art thou finished?
Right, I'll see if I can get to the spider boss. I'll see if I can do him because he's pretty cool, and then I may call it a day there. Jade is very kindly designing me a custom banner for it because I have a banner on my channel. Obviously, I've got her awesome cloud picture that she drew me as my avatar, but she's doing me a JRPG Jared banner, which I'm quite excited for. Yeah, that was really dumb. I always thought when I got the body armor in Resident Evil 4 and 5 that it would actually give me like more slots to put stuff in, not detract from a slot. Always that was really bizarre. Yeah, it's very weird. It almost feels like an oversight, that. Wouldn't be surprised. I love that animation on that second swing, looks really cool. Was it two animals? I wonder if I'm gonna have enough. Yeah, exactly. That's where you keep your body armor, obviously. Oh yeah, I always forget about that asshole. Get Dune. Scoot through here, I think. Avoid fighting all those boys. Unless they all chase off after me now, which they might do. Yeah, they're going to. Okay, guess we'll fight them then. Oh, shoot. That was a nice trip. Oh, I don't know how I managed to cheese that one. Come on. The dream is if you can get the guys throwing the boulders to just take these guys out. I think I'm going to be quick enough this time. Boing. Sound like a frying pan. Right. I wonder if I can use that. Oh, slow roll. Okay, I might not bother then. Need to kind of get rid of these things. They're a bit aggressive. Oh yeah, of course. Sword hit the fence post. I love the design of those things though. I think they're very, very cool. One of my favourite enemy designs, the little fiery lizards. I'm probably hoping to do, hopefully, a bit more tomorrow. I might do a different game for a bit tomorrow, or a bit more of this, so that'd be good. Tell your friends, get them involved. See you in a bit. There's just a few more stabby boys to go through. And then wow. Right, so with this, who's still watching? It says I've got like 6 left, I think. Who's still going? Kind of want to see if I can take out Mr. Spider before I turn it off. Would be a dramatic end. No, I won't be standing bath water, don't worry. None of that. The NordVPN plugs will be much later down the line, if at all. Right. Let's see if we can get this giant speared. It's a pretty cool boss fight, this. I like this one. I won't be doing anything gross. It's all in the name of good fun. Oh god, no, not Squarespace. Don't get me started. I think what's good about this Souls game really is just I think it's probably the best one arguably for a new player. It flows really well. Levels aren't too long. I think the levels are all different and interesting. You can make there's enough options that you can make an engaging enough character without you having to be constantly on the wiki or looking it up. It just seems complete and well tuned, and I nearly got set on fire. Oh my goodness! Need to get this guy out of the way. What are you doing, you flying fat man? That was very close. Come on, move. Ow. Get out of my way. Might use one of those actually. Let's go in. Human form, why not? Nearing the boss fight now, nearly at the first part of the end of this area. What do you guys think to this one? Do you like it? My favourite one I'll do if I stream this tomorrow. I might actually do The Last of Us tomorrow, given that people have said about it. But yeah, the fourth Archstone is easily my favourite area. It's like a storm level. It's very, very cool. A lot of atmosphere. Really like. It feels like you're in like some island off of Scotland somewhere or something. It's very neat. But I think the Naughty Dog games might be a good shout. I like the idea of doing that. I like the idea of doing Last of Us 1 because I haven't no-lifed that in a while. That would be fun. See if I can get my chops back in shape for that one. Ah, yeah. Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4, okay. Yeah, that is tempting. That is tempting. Only reason why I'd quite like to do Last of Us 1 first is just because I can ace that game really well, and it is one of my favourites. But I would like, yeah. Uncharted 4 would be fun. I played it last lockdown, actually. It's like my lockdown game, Uncharted 4. Here's Mr. Spitter. Probably won't do Grounded, just because it strips some of the fun out of it, but I would do Survivor. Run away! I guess I could do Grounded thinking about it, but it just feels like a bit of a unnecessary step up. Shield's my friend here, as you can tell. Come on. Yeah, Resident Evils would be good. Zelda I could do as well, yeah, absolutely. I love Zelda. I'll have to get, the only thing with Zelda is I slightly worry about streaming some of that stuff, just because Nintendo get really funny about, like, copyrights and stuff. So I'd have to emulate, realistically have to emulate the old Zelda games to do that, but I own a cartridge of it, so I guess it's not, you know, it's not illegal. This is another one of those fights where initially it looks like, you know, how you're going to beat him, but it's a pretty set pattern. It feels very old school. You just got to take your time. I will absolutely be doing Final Fantasy VII at some point, 100%. I might even start that tomorrow. Goodbye, Mr. Armor Spider. I think I'll probably call that a day there, actually. I think that's a good place to stop. I could go longer, but I think I'll probably call it a day. I think that's a good point to stop it at. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I'll have a think about tomorrow. I'll probably write up my schedule on Twitch tomorrow about what I'm going to do, if I'm going to do anything kind of a bit more regular. So by the sounds of things, a Naughty Dog game and Final Fantasy VII are probably the way to go. So I will check in and ask around with you nice folks tomorrow, and we'll have maybe a bit of a unanimous vote on Uncharted or Last of Us, and I'll get a Final Fantasy VII one started as well as a bit of this. So that should be good. But thank you very much. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good evening. Bye.